AC of the solar panels without any inverter or battery. In the evening, it will automatically switch over to grid power. If it is grid power is not reliable, you can have battery as optional. The advantage of this solution is the super efficient DC appliances, which save around 70% energy. And the cost compared to a conventional solar system is also about 60% lower. So this is the rooftop solar solution we have implemented, started implementing in Tamil Nadu. And this will be a great boon to the rural areas particularly, where the supply of reliable power and the quality of power is bad. We give an excellent solution to take care of these things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Basil Energetics, and congratulations to all the winners. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have addresses by our energy leaders, starting with Mr. Gaurav Gupta, Partner and Director, Dalberg Asia. I request him to share briefly his experience and his thoughts about the summit.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Chief Minister, thank you for inviting us. My thoughts here are going to focus on one issue only, which is innovation itself. We've already talked a lot about all the great discussions that we've had. And I think reflecting on the last 2 days, the big question that comes up is, how can we make Andhra really the center, the hub of innovation around energy? And I wanted to share some very quick thoughts on that. Traditionally, when we look at a problem like energy, we break it down into its pieces and we say, demand is an issue, let's fix demand. Quality is an issue. We have to, of course, take care of sustainability and then the overriding concern on how do we deliver energy in a cost-effective way. And in this last 2 days, which have been excellent, we've had those discussions. And we've talked about how they all link to how can conventional energy be improved in quality and so forth, renewable energy, grid upgradation, energy efficiency, and electric mobility. How can all of these things help us achieve our goals? But sometimes when you look at things in a piecemeal way, you can easily lose the opportunity to think extremely big. And I think it is good for all of us to channel the Honorable Chief Minister when he says that, you know, Amravati can be carbon neutral. How can we actually think about such targets for the state and energy that allow us to actually spur innovation? And this is you know, if you look at what Andhra has already done, they have set some really exciting targets that allow businesses, entrepreneurs, researchers to say, look, there's a market here if I can innovate. And that's exciting. But how do we go even further? And I want to share one story that shows that setting extremely bold targets is a great way to spur innovation. This is a story that's quite famous. It looks at the car industry. The car industry in the late 70s and 80s had a huge push towards higher fuel efficiency, higher mileage. The Europeans and the Japanese car manufacturers accepted this challenge. It was pushed by the government. The American car manufacturers resisted and forced the government to lower their targets. 10, 15 years later, as a result of what was a government set of targets, bold vision by the governments, all of the major and only profitable car manufacturers in the world were European and Japanese, because the constraints that were laid on them by setting bold government targets forced all of them to innovate and push for very high efficiency cars. And at that point, no one wanted to buy a Chevrolet or a GM. They all wanted to buy a BMW or a Mercedes or a Toyota. Because actually setting bold targets and putting constraints spurred innovation. So with that in mind, what is it that I've just put together very back of the envelope ideas for, based on the discussions that we've been having over the last 2 days, on what is another scenario for Andhra versus the business as usual. What would happen if by 2030, 100% of generation was through renewable energy? We talk about 30% as the likely scenario. We could avoid 370 million metric tons of CO2, which is about $15 billion worth of carbon. But that requires an investment of $45 billion over the next 10 years. These are very large figures. These are very difficult to afford figures, but they're not impossible things. If you look at thermal power plants, what would happen if we were able to move those plants from 33% efficiency that they are today to the best in class, which is 50%? That would cost us, in our estimates, a little over $10 billion, but there would be over $4 billion of savings, and just the financing from carbon itself would actually add another $4.5 billion. None of these calculations really take into account the huge social value when you're actually cutting down significant amounts of pollution and the fact that carbon is actually underpriced. Similarly, imagine if your transmission and distribution losses moved from 11% to best in class, which currently is 5%, but actually could move even lower. And again, this is something that Andhra is thinking about. But that itself would cost over $10 billion in upgrading existing infrastructure, but would more than pay for itself if you could achieve it at a statewide level. We estimate over $13 billion of savings. When we think about energy efficiency, and we heard a lot about the great things that have happened in terms of bulk buying LEDs, pushing for more efficient appliances, the 5-star rating system in India that has been quite successful, although difficult to afford. What would happen if we were able to push for bulk buying of systems such that only 5-star appliances were available? That again, while it would cost another $2 billion in investment, would just more than pay for itself when you think about the cost savings that the state would have. Again, it's about setting a very large target, buying in bulk, but something that Andhra has already been able to do in LEDs. Could it push every appliance to be a 5-star energy efficient appliance? And finally, we heard about electric vehicles and already some of the strong targets that the state has set, including having all government vehicles be electric. But what would it look like if just every vehicle was electric by 2030? Is it possible? Our quick estimates suggest that aside from the huge amounts of private investment that will go in, another over $15 billion of public investment could make something like that a reality. But if you just look at the huge savings in fuel and avoided carbon, a fully electric future, again, more than pays for itself. So these are just quick back-of-the-envelope ideas. These figures have a lot of analysis to still be desired. But the idea here is to set the vision higher and say, can Andhra truly become a hub for innovation by setting some of the boldest targets, not only for cities in India, but actually cities, states here, but states anywhere in the world, and say, look, we're willing to do something incredibly different, very bold, and we invite the world to come and innovate here. So I just wanted to leave you with that thought, because the last 2 days has convinced me that actually, if there's any place that can do that, it is this, and with the leadership of the Honorable Chief Minister, I'm sure we can get there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gaurav Gupta. Ladies and gentlemen, further up, I'd like to request Mr. Upendra Tripathi, Director General ISA, to share a few words with all of us.
Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Ajay Jain, VIPs on the dais, delegates and friends. Everybody's been asking, what is the International Solar Alliance does? What actions do we take? We have a 10-point, program. We are trying to bring a demand of 500,000 solar pumps from 31 countries, so that we go for a global tender to bring down prices. Something like in a small scale, the LED experiment of India, and that Andhra Pradesh is also following up. We are talking about getting the price for 1 million street lights and maybe 1.2 billion home lighting systems, the 1.2 billion people who are outside energy access, without access to electricity. So we presume that if you can give a roadmap from ISA to all the countries where these 1.2 billion people are there, this will potentially be converted to a market and the prices will come down. We are also going to mobilize $1,000 billion by 2030 for that. India, of course, has put $2 billion for giving solar projects. France has put 1 billion euros. But we are trying to get more money from more countries, from the multilateral banks, and we are bringing risk mitigation mechanisms. For example, EIB, the European Investment Bank, under the umbrella of ISA, is going to open a $60 million euros fund for promoting off-grid access, off-grid promotion of off-grid products. We deal with mini-grids, rooftops, storage, and e-solar mobility. We also open solar technology application resource centers, at least one in each member country. We bring a computer platform called Infopedia, where 121 member countries, and now it is open. ISA has been opened up. 198 countries can be members. Any country which is a member of the UN can be a member of ISA. And Infopedia is the common platform where we will have country counters. We also train engineers from other countries. We have already started training 200 engineers from Latin American, African, and Asian countries. We do participate in outreach events like this, and we also go to the event in Abu Dhabi, event in Germany, the Intersolar. But the most important thing today, and that has happened, which makes history today, and in fact, Ajay talked about the Honorable CM being a leader and how he has innovative ideas. I met him when I was an additional secretary in Delhi, and he would always come with a concrete list, and before he comes, the Andhra Bhavan would pass it on, so that people work on that list. And today, when I met him in August, we put up a proposal from ISA that if Amaravati, the historic city where land has been brought in a manner that unparalleled, in a way, capital has been mobilized for infrastructure, can actually reach out to all the countries in the world, 198 countries. So we put a small proposal before the Honorable CM that if they can institute an award to the ISA platform, every year ISA will select a provincial city which is the best solar city in the world. And the name of this award will be ISA Andhra Pradesh Amaravati Solar Award for the best solar city in the world. And true to his leadership, I am very proud to announce that we are grateful for this, because the only state province that has done so far is Haryana. They have put an award through ISA. This is the second award, and Amaravati is going to be really, reach out to all the countries in the world, 198 countries. But what made it so special, when we just had a discussion, Honorable CM said, make sure that the award is given not in another capital of another country or anywhere globally, but here. Which means every year, ISA will bring one municipality or one officer from one provincial city which has done good work in solar. They will not only come to the capital of Andhra Pradesh, they will come to know all about Amaravati. And today's event, we are very grateful, becomes very historical and significant, not because it is going to be repeated every year, but in that event or any other event Andhra chooses, the Honorable CM will be giving an award to a city in the world which has done wonderful work in solar city. And it's known as the best solar city in the world. We are grateful to you, sir, for your announcement, for your assurance. And I also thank Andhra Pradesh for having invited ISA for this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tripathi, for your support always and for sharing with us such a great news. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would now request Mr. Deepak Amitabh, CMD PTC, to share his thoughts with all of us.
Honorable CM, respected dignitaries on the dais, the delegates and friends. This place, this city, today I came in the morning, is thriving with ideas and innovative ideas, and that reflects the true spirit of the great leader this state has. I will just restrict because a lot of things have been said about electric vehicles, mobility, the innovations, etc. I'll just say things about market, because I belong to PTC and we were the most innovative company which got market-based investment into the country, and we created a market which has led to so much investment happening over a period of time. So the philosophy of the CM, Honorable CM, is in the same, this thing, I mean, we are aligned to his philosophy. Now, here is now this state, which has about 23,000 megawatt of generation capacity tied up, out of which about 7,200 megawatt in the renewable space. Wind, obviously, majority with wind 3,900 and solar about 2,100, and then the small hydros, etc., which are there. Now, the state has a population of about 5 crore people, and the total energy requirement is about 48,000 million units. I'm giving these ballpark figures, I mean, obviously, because the figures keep changing in month to month. Now, under this scenario, it is, and with certain deficit, almost it's 100% electrified state, with less than 5% peak energy deficit and almost nil energy deficit. So what it used to be, and in these few years we have seen it has reached a place that it is self-sufficient, and now this is the time to look innovative ways of using the market, and how by integrating to the new market design which is being created, how the people of this state and the distribution company can reap the benefit. So that is the idea which I just wanted to bring into the fore. So we have market-based opportunities which are available to schedule power, not only now within the state because you have become surplus, but you have to start thinking outside state also how you can do that. And your state is ideally placed nowadays for that. Now states can plan for its energy profile on daily, monthly, seasonal, yearly basis, integrating the market-based opportunity of availability and the requirement. Now, and when I say this, market-based availability should not be seen only through the day-ahead market, through the exchanges which are there, but that only gives tomorrow's market. So you should also start thinking about a short-term market, a bilateral market, a medium-term market, which is just last 1 or 2 years, we are seeing a huge opening up in that particular area of the market. And now the new market designs are being talked about. The regulators, the policy makers, they are all understanding that the way the trading market has evolved in the last 15 years, it is still 10% of the total electricity generated. Now, how this 10% has to become 15% and 20%, the new market designs, creations are already started happening. And I just wanted to bring it to the notice of the policy makers and the regulators of Andhra Pradesh that they should view it very openly. They are in the best position and they must make use of this market. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deepak Amitabh. May I now request Mr. Tulsi Tanti, Chairman and Managing Director, Suzlon, to address the gathering.
Respected Chief Minister, ladies and gentlemen, really it's a great gathering to address all of you. And I really appreciate Andhra Pradesh administrations to start this event particularly on the power sectors. When we are saying the powering the Andhra Pradesh, I would like to say powering the green Andhra Pradesh. Because we have discussed a lot of innovative ideas and other things. Andhra Pradesh, under the leadership of our chief ministers, is always remain as innovative, but not only the innovations, but pioneer to implement and execute the projects, because that is an extremely important achievement of the Andhra Pradesh. If I see some of the development, which I believe in the power sector is always Andhra Pradesh state ahead is there. If you see the distribution, generations and transmissions is disconnected of the three entities separately, is the first pioneer state in the country is the Andhra Pradesh. That's the good beginning, and after that other state has followed. Today in the renewable space also, the Andhra Pradesh is late, but still today the 7,000 megawatt is total renewable and 4,000 megawatt is the wind capacity added by the Andhra Pradesh, and fourth largest states in our country, Andhra Pradesh is there. When I see the vision of Amravati city, smart city, I would like say the future digital city. And that's the great beginning of our country, and country need more than 200 such cities. So this Amravati city will become the first model city of our country, and then it will transform to the other states. So it is a big beginning, and pioneer approach is there. Not only that, I have never seen in any state or the central government the real-time data and real-time information about administration systems. So our chief minister sitting in this cabin, he can able to see across the vertical and across the business areas of the state government. He can able to see the live information on his desktop. I think that is a great control of the transparency, efficiency, and real-time informations, and taking a strong decisions process. Another great achievement for the farming communities, the connecting both the rivers, Godavari and Krishna, I think it is a great achievement of lift irrigation area. Sir, we have some of the ideas, suggestions, or concept, we can say, which can bring the Andhra Pradesh in the next level. The first most I would like to focus on a Make in India, and where Andhra Pradesh can take a lead to establish the more manufacturing capacity, because today renewable energy sources are available almost 40 to 50 gigawatt capacity in the state. If we really promote and encourage the manufacturing base more, and more high capital intensive industries required always the high energy intensives. So we can invite those types of industries, particularly the data storage, because that is the big opportunity for Andhra Pradesh and our country. The semiconductor industries is the next phase is there. Today, if I say the semiconductor in the worldwide, is the Korea, Taiwan, US and Japan. China is not able to compete not able to develop this technology. So semiconductor industries in Andhra Pradesh is a great opportunity. So to Make in India point of view, so that we can use the maximum renewable energy to feed these types of the high energy intensive industries, like when we are using a solar panel. But to produce the solar panel and the polysilicon and other components, it's a required high energy requirement. So this is the great opportunity. Also, we can bring the captive policy for the SME companies in Andhra Pradesh, so that they can hedge their power cost for the next 25 years. And because of that, they become very competitive. Otherwise, today, whatever the cost of power is, the SME is buying from utility is quite expensive. By doing that, policy can bring the more economic growth and job creation in the state. The second area is their RTC, 24/7 power, the round-the-clock power through renewable energy only. Means we can build a 300 megawatt a turnkey power plant solution of wind, solar and storage integrated, and integrated systems with the state grid infrastructure things. By doing that, we can replace some of the more expensive, the coal-based or other power plant, or those power are inefficient or very expensive is there. We can replace those, and gradually in the next 10 years, we can make the Andhra Pradesh 100% renewable energy, the power solutions in the state. It is not expensive. So our technology is growing so rapidly, and by now system design is the solution to make the replacement of the conventional power solution. Another area is very important is that every state utility in our country is a bleeding because of their financial positions, and then the problems of some of the the cross-subsidies situations, and to provide some low cost of energy to the farmers. The food security in our country is extremely important, and we have to provide some of the supports to our farmers to that, how to make self-sustainable farmers' power requirement, and same time to create an income for the farmers. So that whatever the burden is coming to the utility permanently by one-time investment, by PPP projects, we can remove completely, and farmer will become also a partner of this investment, very small amounts, and that will be the cooperative model very successfully we can implement, and 100% the farmer's load can be diverted into renewables in RTC model, and by that way, we can reduce the huge burden on the state utility and make a state utility is more financially sound. I think that is the more creative, innovative solutions we are willing to bring in the interest of the state. The last, my suggestions and idea is that renewable energy is such a catalyst resource for the world is there, and now the cost of energy and technology is continuously evolving, and that will bring down continuously down. Because of that, how we can bring an inclusive policy, not just the power sector policy, but the manufacturing, the power sector means renewables, and how we can generate the demand of the energies. By encouraging the energy intensive projects in the country, by doing that, I'm confident tomorrow we can see the green Andhra Pradesh very soon in the next 1 decade. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing with all of us your inputs. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would now request
It really is an honour to add my comments, and I thought the best thing I could do was to provide my testimony of innovation being sponsored within Andhra Pradesh. Village Energy is a technology company that had an idea that we presented to Sri Jain not that long ago, and he immediately grasped onto this concept and said, I believe that there is promise in this. I understand that it's not yet tested, but we'd like to understand how a technology like this could really be delivered to the benefit of Andhra Pradesh. It had some very simple concepts to lower cost, to improve reliability of supply and the outcomes for consumers, but it was a vision. And through our exposure with Mr. Jain and more recently with the leadership of Mr. Nayak, the CMD of ASPDCL, we were able to take a vision and start to implement what we believe will be a model very compatible with the concepts that we've heard so much about over the last few days. Using new technologies, IoT, distributed energy, deep learning, artificial intelligence, the concepts that really are available to us today where they may not have been available to us not that long ago. And I'd also pay a compliment to the people of Andhra Pradesh who are also innovators. We've been working in remote Andhra Pradesh with villages in the town of Pigiraroy, and what we've experienced in dealing with those people is a real appetite for understanding how technology can be applied and the opportunities that are available to them, but also the contribution that they may make to helping the sustainability and viability of the energy system. And finally, the last point that I'd like to leave you with is our progress and our success within Andhra Pradesh all began through the signing of an MOU. So for those who see MOUs as being an opportunity to really establish their own ideas and to look for a state like Andhra Pradesh where they can establish and prove and develop those concepts, then I'd really encourage that as a pathway to really see. And I commend the leadership of this state for putting their faith in this process, in innovation and supporting companies like Village Energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hamilton, for sharing your idea and your experience with all of us. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would now request Mr. Manoj Kohli, Executive Chairman, SB Energy, to address the gathering.
First, I'd like to thank Honorable Chief Minister Naidu Garu for leading this state to this prime position of renewable energy. Globally, Naidu Garu, there is a huge transformation of energy and transport sector. India, of course, is trying its best to lead it, but I can tell you Andhra Pradesh is in the pole position of leading it. And on behalf of SoftBank, I wanted to share some thoughts with you, which are here. India's renewable energy target is 200 gigawatt by 22, 500 by 2030, and very large-scale storage. Because without storage, renewable energy may not be successful fully. It's very important to have large-scale storage. And today, large-scale storage is not there because the cost is high from India's affordability targets. And maybe in 5 years, the cost will come to an affordability level. If you remember, sir, you had met our founder and chairman in Tokyo. And from that time, our founder and chairman is very, very eager to invest in Andhra Pradesh. And because you told him that clean energy transition will be led by Andhra Pradesh state in India. Now, your advantage, sir, are these three major advantages, which is sunshine, wind, and wasteland. Not many countries of the world have these three major advantages. Now, we are talking, let me clarify, sir, we are talking of wasteland. We are not talking of land for agriculture. We are not talking of land where industrial usage will happen. And we are not talking of land where forest will be there. So this is purely wasteland, which is not used today for any purpose. It is arid land. So therefore, Andhra Pradesh actually should have the strongest policy in this country to utilize all these three natural resources which God has given to Andhra Pradesh. And that is our recommendation, because for AP to become the first top state of India, these three should be fully leveraged. Now, your support has been great, and I think your policies have been forward-looking. Let me specifically mention the hybrid policy, which has been launched about 2 months back. 2 months back, which is a very forward-looking hybrid policy of solar and wind together. Because solar and wind and storage together is actually the future of a non-fossil future. If you combine solar, wind, and storage, which actually will be the most powerful combo of tomorrow, then the days of fossil will be behind us. Second thing is large-scale solar development, solar park development is required on your wastelands. I know you have questions in your mind that you don't want to give land of industry or agriculture to solar or wind. I fully agree with you, sir. The land will not of industry and agriculture will not be given to solar and wind. It is completely wasteland, which normally is unused and wasted. And there are three advantages, sir, which state will get. Number one, it will get massive investment. Number two, it will get massive employment during project phase and after project phase. And number three, sir, you will be able to export power, because these PPAs will be signed by central government agencies, etc. So you can easily export power to other parts of the country. And the third issue is, sir, green corridor evacuation is critical, which I believe PGCIL should support you fully, because green corridor is crucial for future evacuation of huge solar power, wind power, which you will generate in the country. From SoftBank, we fully support this transformation. Our experience is in Japan, where we are #1. And after India, we are getting into Saudi Arabia, Africa, Mexico, and many other parts of the world from India. Our present operations are in many parts of the world, and we are growing. In the next few years, we'll grow the operations globally. We are also very proud that our first project in India was in Kurnool, sir, and the support which your team gave, especially Ajay Jain Garu, has been remarkable support. And let me compliment your team. Your team is maybe the most friendly team in the country. And that I can say with confidence, and AP getting the #1 ease of doing business is not a surprise to us. We commissioned the project 51 days before time. And that is a rare thing in India, because majority of the projects are delayed in India. We have created the first solar innovation center in Kurnool, sir. We also do reliability monitoring through drones. We use the latest technology in the world. We also use robos for cleaning services. So robos and drones are used in our solar plant. We also use predictive asset management, and there is a major saving on carbon here in Kurnool, sir. We also are doing 2 more projects now. One is in Anantapuram, other is in Kadapa, sir. These 2 are very important projects, and there are a lot of new jobs being created because of these projects. We develop communities. We support schools around our plant. We do infrastructure development along with your team, sir. We also help health, education, toilets, so that the villages around the plants should be fully taken care of. Because we are not just a power company, we are also a community company. We help the community which is surrounding our plants all over the country, sir. So in the future, our plans are, we want to do large-scale solar in AP, sir. We also have entered the wind sector, and we would like to do much more wind and hybrid in your state, sir. And finally, we would like to bring in the manufacturing in this state, because luckily you have the coast, you have the ports, and manufacturing from the ports of India so that exports, imports are easy is very, very good, sir. So thanks a lot. I am, on behalf of SoftBank, I really am grateful to you, Naidu Garu, and Ajay Jain Garu, and we'll continue to support Andhra State fully in future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kohli. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would now request Mr. Daniel Bradley, Team Lead, Low Carbon Growth FCO, to share with us his thoughts with all of us.
It's okay. Honourable Chief Minister, respected delegates and friends, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here again in Vijayawada and participating in this tremendous summit, which was big, it was innovative, it was full of ideas. So in short, it's everything that I've come to expect of Andhra Pradesh, and to be honest, everything I've come to learn about living in India for the last 5+ years. So congratulations for the event, it's been fantastic. From the UK side, we have a very close relationship with India. It's a very important strategic partner for us on energy, and a framework for that is our Energy for Growth partnership. And it's really responding to India's priorities on security, sustainability, efficiency and access on energy. And those are really shared commitments, particularly at the heart of that to developing clean energy. And our partners in India find that the UK's decarbonisation story is particularly relevant. It's a challenge that we're both trying to face, and it provides a really interesting and useful reference point for India, and a very close fit with some of the recommendations that we've seen come out of this summit. So in the UK, what our partners are interested in is the fact that over the last few years, we've managed to achieve faster growth with faster emissions reduction, than any other G7 country. So we've managed to decouple growth and emissions reduction. We've shown that growth can be green. And that's a really fascinating story that we're really keen to learn lessons on with our partners in India. We're also finding our low-carbon economy is growing 5 times faster than the rest of our economy. So we're really convinced that the future is green, the future is clean, and it's fantastic seeing that same sentiment in Andhra Pradesh and lots of like-minded philosophies and approaches here in the state. We're also powering our economy away from coal. So we saw last year the first day since the Industrial Revolution where we managed a whole day without using coal to generate electricity, and we've had many more days since then. And now 30% of renewables in our energy mix, which I think is something we also have in common with Andhra Pradesh. So our partnership with India spans a whole range of issues on energy, the full range from power, renewables, oil and gas, nuclear, energy efficiency, and green finance. And Andhra Pradesh is a focal state for several areas of that work. And what I've really noticed listening to Sri Ajay Jain's summary of the summit is that a lot of our current and planned work with Andhra Pradesh shows a very good fit with the recommendations that have come out of this summit. So we're collaborating on a range of areas like urban infrastructure development, like smart cities, like climate resilience, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of things that had a particularly close fit to the recommendations that have come out of this summit. So we have a power sector reform program that has been operating at central and state level, and Andhra Pradesh is a key state for that program. And a couple of things that have been included underneath that program is we're working with Upgenco to analyze the procedures required to use the cycling flexibility in thermal power to address grid fluctuations and therefore help to integrate renewable energy into the grid. That's something that we're really pleased with. It's generating fantastic results. Secondly, we're also demonstrating a pilot for utility-driven solar rooftop, a new business model in collaboration with the Eastern Power Distribution Company of Andhra Pradesh. And this is the first model of its kind in India. We're very excited about it, and this is going to help the DISCOM to meet its renewable energy purchase obligations, as well as drive more affordable and widespread use of solar rooftop in the state. And then thirdly, we've been supporting some of the design and bidding for the solar pump pilots that have been happening in Andhra Pradesh. So 3 areas which we're really pleased with underneath the power sector reform program. But what about the future? What are we hoping to do next? Because we want to do more together, because we're very pleased with how things are working. So Andhra Pradesh is a focal state for our next phase of programs, which we've characterized as clean energy for growth. And subject to final agreements, we've been having really good discussions with Sri Ajay Jain and others, and I've been talking about options around developing new solar technologies, new best practice approaches for solar parks, planning and development of new storage solutions, including for hybrids, like you've been very innovative in pushing forward here in Andhra Pradesh. Also looking at continued work on renewable energy integration, renewable energy financing, but also looking at some of the areas around consumer behavior like demand-side management, and also looking at industrial energy efficiency, all areas that we're really keen to explore, and we think Andhra Pradesh could be a really fertile partner for that. And then finally, we're currently exploring a new collaboration also on electric mobility, which is a really strong theme of the summit. And our scoping work at the moment is identifying key stakeholders and will lead to a new strategy paper for Andhra Pradesh. And I'm really pleased that we will be having a new delegation, a stakeholder workshop coming in at the end of this month to look at how we can take some of that forward and launching a stakeholder group on electric vehicles to devise the next phase of our emerging partnership on electric vehicles. So these are just a few key areas of our partnership. We're very proud to be working with Andhra Pradesh. Really look forward to doing more together and seeing our collaboration go from strength to strength. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bradley, and it's entirely a pleasure to partner with you, sir. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would now request Mr. Paul McFarlane, VP Engineering and Technical Services in Simcom Industries in Singapore, to address the gathering.
Thank you. Honourable Chief Minister, ladies and gents, I must thank you all for this opportunity and also for your hospitality. I've only been here today, but a summary of my observations of today. I guess what I should say first is the reason that I was asked to come here was that my 20+ years experience in renewable energy, and that on a global scale. So I think what I wanted to get across to you today was my observations of the overall summit. What I have heard is there's lots and lots of issues, a few issues. That was all discussed at the workshops, and I think that that intertwined with the opportunities that I also heard today. Issues like the low tariff, is it sustainable? A win-win for all parties should be the case. Grid availability, is upgrades going to be done? The energy balance, does it, conventional generation, how that fits into that? Storage in terms of opportunities as well. And how all that integrated into policy also. So this is what I heard as in general, and the way I would see my observations based on my experience is that the way this summit has been put together with all the people, the broad range of experience and knowledge that's been gained, all that put together, and the policy being put into a master plan is what I had seen today, and that is stakeholders and partners and being involved and integral in the policy, and that master plan and enhanced collaboration through all that process. So that's what I've really seen, and that has been my observations as I've been here today. And the one analogy that I wanted to use based on this, the way I've seen the summit and all this knowledge being put together, taken on board and driving the master plan forward, is one that I was involved in many years ago in the UK, where the UK first looked at offshore wind about 15 years ago, and there was lots of issues. One of the main issues was actually supply chain. I heard some of that today as well. And what was done, the government had done some roadshows, which I would akin to this summit, where all parties were listened to, and it all came together. And well, we all know the story that the supply chain was fixed, and the levelized cost of energy for the European offshore in the UK has come down about a third, and is obviously leading the world at the moment. Based on that, I also heard some stories today about India and how they could probably, and more than likely, they have the drive, the ambition, and have the means. They also have the potential for the drive to be able to drive that cost even lower and actually lead the world. They are leading the world at the moment on onshore in terms of price and that levelised cost of energy. And I think with the local content, there is a lot of opportunity for the Indian market, and also to drive that cost down. So in terms of bringing all these new technologies I've heard today, digital technologies, artificial intelligence, and integrating all this into the policy, I think that that the master plan that's come here in this summit is definitely the way forward for Andhra Pradesh to move forward, and I think that this should be done on a more regular basis. And my observations have been very, very positive, and I think in terms of Semcorp India and Semcorp Singapore, we're very much willing partner. And also we want to be fully involved as a stakeholder in the process, and anything we can move forward with and bring all parties on board and move things forward. So I'd like to thank you all again, and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul McFarlane. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would now request Mr. A.K. Gupta, Director Commercial NTPC, to address the gathering.
Honorable Chief Minister, Andhra Pradesh, colleagues on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I think the electricity demand is a direct parameter of growth, and Andhra Pradesh has demonstrated that they are growing by 10 to 12%. And that's very, very positive sign that the state is growing under the leadership of Honorable Chief Minister. NTPC provides around 20% of power to the state of Andhra Pradesh. We have around 2,000 megawatt thermal as 1,200 megawatt solar, and we are supplying the similar amount of power to Andhra Pradesh, powering the growth of Andhra Pradesh, and we would like to continue doing that. Few things which I want to share here to the paucity of time. There have been discussions here on how to improve the efficiency of conventional power plants. Of course, the major thrust is on renewable, but we are working hard, and NTPC, BHL, and IG Car are trying to really have an indigenous development of technology which will give efficiencies to the level of 46%, which is 10% over the conventional supercritical power plant. I would also like to inform that while with renewables entry, there has to be a flexible operation of coal plants, and we have done a testing at Dadri, by we could go down to 40% of the total of the installed power, so that we can do the flexibility of coal plants, by which the integration of renewable will become very, very this thing. We are very keenly tracking the battery prices, and I think Mr. Kohli talked about it, and I think we would be in a position to really integrate solar and batteries. We are doing that in Andaman, by which we have solar plants with a battery, which is going to be installed very quickly. So these are the things which we need to really work on. In fact, what we would be very keen is that we have done one more experiment, is that the agriculture waste, that's agriculture residue, we have started firing the coal plants. We have done for Dadri around 5% to 7%. It can be biomass firing, which has been tested positive. And then we think that this is the technology which we can use for all the thermal plants by converting residual waste, and this will give additional income to farmers. Environmental norms, we are very progressing very swiftly to make that these conventional plants are really made to the pollution free. I think we would be able to really partner and support Andhra Pradesh in terms of implementation of electric vehicles, and we are in discussion with various authorities here so that we can go in a big way. I think we have been the partner in the growth of Andhra Pradesh, which would like to continue doing that. And I think we would be really looking at Andhra Pradesh to grow NTPC as well as the state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gupta. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would now request our honorable guest, Justice Shriji Bhavani Prasad, Honorable Chairman, APERC, to address the gathering.
the chief guest of today's evening, and the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu garu, the dignitaries on and off the dais, the leaders of the power sector in the state and in the country, and even abroad, present on the dais and off the dais, my colleagues and friends from the power sector present in the audience, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I should convey my thanks, heartfelt thanks to Sri Kamalakar Babu, heading the AP New and Renewable Power Generation Corporation, and who belongs to, as I said yesterday, our area with that local affinity, for giving me this great opportunity of associating myself with such a wonderful program. Sir, since yesterday, I had been a witness to very interesting, enlightening, and knowledgeable discussions on conventional energy, renewable energy, grid upgradation, energy conservation, mobility, including electric vehicles, and so on and so forth. In fact, even for a layman like me, so far as electricity is concerned, it has been a rewarding, educating experience. And people with insight into the power sector who are here around were saying that the ideas, the thoughts, the suggestions which emanated during the deliberations in the last 2 days will be of great use in the further march of the power sector in the state of Andhra Pradesh. But I was only wondering why a very important kind of energy was omitted to be discussed since yesterday. That is what I may call as infinite energy. Energy which is infinite, endless. That may be because there is only one generator of infinite energy around, and that is Nara Chandrababu Naidu. He had been there at some other place yesterday morning, had been in some meetings and in the assembly yesterday afternoon until later hours. And I had seen him on the television in Calcutta in the late hours of the night. Had been again told when I tried to have an appointment with the Honorable Chief Minister this morning that the Honorable Chief Minister is very, very busy with his official work and meetings. And when I switched on the TV, he was speaking in the assembly in reply to the debate on the governor's address. And even while it was going on, when I came down to the ground floor, I am told that the Honorable Chief Minister has already started and is here. And he is still all smiles, all energy, and all cordiality to every person coming here. And that is where I wonder where from this energy has come. Because I am also of the same, almost the same age as the Honorable Chief Minister. And just by sitting from yesterday morning till now here, I am feeling exhausted. And the Honorable Chief Minister is exactly the opposite. And probably his inherent commitment for the development of the infant state of Andhra Pradesh, his devotion to the cause of making every citizen of Andhra Pradesh happy and prosperous, his unflinching loyalty to the cause of the democratic values of the country, probably they give him that energy. That may be the fuel which makes him move restless and timeless. I take this opportunity to congratulate him on behalf of myself and all of you for the services he is rendering to the state and more particularly to the power sector. And as one of the learned speakers was mentioning, he has a wonderful team in this task of powering Andhra Pradesh. In his efforts to take the energy sector of the state of Andhra Pradesh to the summit, to the top, through various innovations in the field, has become easier. His crusade has been aided. His journey has been assisted by a team of very competent persons. All of you know that we have Sri Vijayanand, as I was saying yesterday, playing a threefold role in APPCC, AP Genco and AP Transco. Sri H.Y. Dora heading the AP SPDCL. Sri M.M. Nayak, AP EPDCL, earlier heading AP SPDCL. Sri M.M. Nayak presently heading AP SPDCL and earlier AP EPDCL. Sri Chandrasekhar Reddy heading the AP Energy Conservation Mission as well as its special purpose vehicle, AP State Energy Efficiency Development Corporation. Sri Adiseshu heading AP Solar Power Corporation Limited, the AP Power Development Corporation, the New and Renewable Energy Development Corporation, the Electrical Inspectorate, which takes care of the safety aspects, the other major and minor wings of the power sector under the control of the state government. And last but not the least, the Energy Department of the Government of Andhra Pradesh, ably headed by Sri Ajay Jain, the Principal Secretary, and the advisor to the State Government and Energy, Sri K. Ranganathan. Last but not the least, the various engineers, the various officers, the various employees, as I was telling it yesterday, from the managing director to the lineman in the power sector in the state, totally committed and devoted to service to every consumer in the state, every stakeholder in the state. They are the team which the Honorable Chief Minister is heading, and under his inspiring leadership, everyone in the team is playing their role to the satisfaction of the people of the state. We are proud of them, and I request all of you to appreciate their services to the state in thick and thin. Yes. I am happy, sir. And it is this journey towards excellence in power sector that should take us forward in the near future to come. All of you know the disadvantages with which, after division, the state of Andhra Pradesh has started in any sector. Still, as the Honorable Chief Minister often points out, disadvantages are turned into opportunities. Deficiencies are taken as challenges, and that is that spirit which is taking us forward. From a deficit of 22.5 million units of power per day, now we have become, at least technically, a surplus state, though at times peak and off-peak demand probably makes us go for short-term purchases. Thus, I am happy that I have the opportunity of becoming a part of the journey. Of course, as a state electricity regulatory commission, guided by the principles laid down by the Electricity Act 2003 and the Andhra Pradesh Electricity Reform Act 1998 and the various rules and regulations, in the performance of my adjudicatory functions in deciding disputes, or in the discharge of my statutory functions as a statutory authority in dealing with various issues, for example, like power purchase agreements or the necessity to have power purchases or things like that. We act as an independent commission. But as part of the statutory duties which are entrusted to the State Electricity Regulatory Commission, we also have a role to play as an advisory organization to the state government on various matters of the power sector and as an executing agency for the various directions received from the state government in public interest under Section 108 of the Electricity Act 2003. So it is both an independent role to perform as a neutral and a complementary role to perform as a friend of the power sector. In performance of that complementary role, we associate ourselves with the state government, the utilities, the officers and others. And I take this opportunity to acknowledge with gratitude that since the last 4 years and more, the Andhra Pradesh Electricity Regulatory Commission has been receiving every cooperation, guidance and friendship from every functionary in the state government and in the power sector, due to which we are able to establish some credibility in the people of the state and some credibility in the national organizations and national players in the power sector. Such is the confidence which the state has been able to create in the power sector. I may illustrate by reference to an anecdote. People were referring to electric vehicles, and Saurabh Kumar was telling us that the Andhra Pradesh government is planning to purchase electric vehicles from the Energy Efficiency Services Limited of the Government of India on a large scale. And I am told that the number immediately being planned is about 10,000 electric vehicles. So I was in a meeting of the Forum of Regulators, which is the national body for the chairpersons of the various regulatory commissions, in a meeting. There I overheard two brother State Electricity Regulatory Commission chairman, brother chairman, speaking between themselves. I overheard them. So one was asking, is it true that Andhra Pradesh is trying to purchase about 10,000 electric vehicles from the ESL? Do they have the money? One was asking. The other said, they may not have the money, they have Sri Chandrababu Naidu. And that is the credibility of the state government and its agencies in the power sector that is making us march forward and serve the people of the state to the best of our ability. And I once again thank the Honorable Chief Minister and the state government for giving me an opportunity to serve on the State Electricity Regulatory Commission and be a part of this great effort. And I congratulate the organizers of this event, which felicitated people like me to have deep insight and knowledge of the various issues concerning the power sector, which will be of great help in the discharge of my duties in the near future. Thank you very much. Yes. Yesterday, if there are some in the audience who are present when I was addressing you yesterday, I promised to speak indefinitely till the Honorable Chief Minister and the audience get bored. But today I am told that the Honorable Chief Minister has more pressing engagements to attend soon after this meeting, and therefore I was forced to cut short my speech. Please excuse me. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to witness the release of NetCap newsletter Akshaya Shakti. May I please request our Honorable Chief Minister to step forward and do the honors. Our Honorable Chief Minister would now release the NetCap newsletter titled Akshaya Shakti. 66 Technologies. Up next, we have Chakra Innovation, our first runner-up of the pitch competition, exchanging an MOU with our Honorable Chief Minister, and also our Honorable Chief Minister handing over a check of rupees 3 lakhs for their pilot project. The second runner-up, can we please invite Skylancer Solar.
Honorable Chief Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor of announcing the handing over of implementation plan of the SoftBank Energy projects in India to Mr. Ajay Jain, Principal Secretary, Energy, in the presence of Honorable Chief Minister. Mr. Masayoshi Son, the Chairman of SoftBank Energy, one of the global leaders in renewable energy, has committed to the state of Andhra Pradesh to make substantial investments in the state. These include about 13,200 crores of investments in a 4 gigawatt solar energy production in Andhra Pradesh. A part of this includes the manufacturing of the solar panels and also battery units in the state of Andhra Pradesh. With this, it is expected that Andhra Pradesh will become the India hub of solar manufacturing and also solar fab manufacturing. Andhra Pradesh believes in walk the talk. Honorable Chief Minister is a strong believer in implementation. I'm happy to state that of all the MOUs signed so far in the state of Andhra Pradesh, nearly 6,41,000 crores in about 1,700 projects have gone beyond allotment of land, and 2,21,000 crores have in the DPR, where DPR has been submitted. This makes nearly 57% of the MOUs which are seriously being implemented in the state of Andhra Pradesh, which is the largest in India. This is one such example where we find the SoftBank coming with a clear-cut implementation plan to ensure that whatever they have promised to the state of Andhra Pradesh will be executed in a time-bound manner. Now I request the Executive Chairman, SoftBank India, Mr. Manoj Kohli, to hand over the implementation plan to Mr. Ajay Jain, Principal Secretary, Energy, in the presence of the Honorable Chief Minister. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special moment. We have the off-grid solar pump set suppliers who would like to donate rupees 5 lakhs to the CM Relief Fund. I invite them on stage and request our Honorable Chief Minister to kindly accept the check amount. Thank you to the entire team. And now I request our Honorable Chief Minister to address the gathering.
Please come.
Respected Justice Bhavani Prasad garu, distinguished invitees on the dais, and the participants of this event, and media and friends. We are very happy to have nearly 800 delegates for this meeting, for this convention, around 80 speakers, 40 organizations, around 20 countries, around 51 international delegates. Countries are representing here Japan, UK, Germany, Australia, Poland, Spain, USA, Singapore, China, and other countries. I am very happy. Andhra Pradesh is going always for innovations. Today, it is order of the day. You cannot do routine business. Earlier, I used to talk about information technology. Information technology is very crucial for any development. You want to bring accountability. You wanted to compete others in a competitive world. Naturally, you have to adopt information technology. If you go back, if you see all these things, first industrial revolution, small mechanization. It took decades to go for next revolution, that is innovation of power, energy. Then it took so much of time to go for information technology, third industrial revolution. Because of third industrial revolution, world has become a global village. Earlier, the news from America will reach India many days afterwards. Today, within short time, fourth industrial revolution we are passing, that is Internet of Things, IoT devices. Now it is a reality. Anybody want to do anything, you can do it. It is an inspiring time. Our people, as rightly mentioned, today everything is possible. We are very happy. That's why I called Andhra Pradesh as Innovation Valley. Today we are all talking, Silicon Valley is the happening place. In Silicon Valley, 25 years back, Andhra Pradesh don't have any place there. Only few people used to go. Thanks to information technology, then I started promoting information technology in a big way. One is education, number of colleges, and also I attracted number of companies to Hyderabad. Then our people used to go all over the world, especially Silicon Valley. Today I can say very proudly, in Silicon Valley, highest per capita income earners are not Americans, not others, but Andhra people, that is my state. I'm very proud of it. One initiative has taken, today if you measure, out of 4 IT professionals all over the world, one is Indian. Among Indians, out of 4, one is from my state. That is the strength of Andhra Pradesh on IT. If you go and ask anywhere, this is the reality. I am very happy for that. Even deregulation of telecommunication sector, I was instrumental for that. I was the co-chairperson of that committee. I gave a recommendation at that time. Now it has happened as a reality. If you come back here on ease of doing business, recently Government of India and World Bank has started to promote business. First year we are second. Gujarat was the first place. Second year we are number one. Third year we are number one. In future also we will be number one. We will be distant number one. And ultimately top 5 countries will be one among themselves. That is how we are moving forward. Not only procedures to clear all clearances, but we are going beyond that. That is where soft skills and also how to convince investors, how to be friendly with investors, that is the exercise we are doing. I strongly believe India is having strong potential. One is India is having an advantage of demographic dividend. By 2029, India will have a 29 years average age. If you see China, it will be 38, Japan, it will be 48, because they are having an advantage or disadvantage, because they followed family planning, and at the same time they have become advanced countries, developed countries. Second is India is having another advantage. We are very strong in technology. Nobody can beat India. Third one, we are having advantage. We are very strong in English. If you calculate, maximum English-speaking people are in India, not in America, because of our size of population. That is the beauty of India. We are having biggest market also. Ours is a democratic country. With all these things, for the last 4 years, it is a new state, 4.5 years baby. Now we are growing at the rate of 10.52% growth rate, 4 years average. Now I am planning to grow at the rate of 14 to 15%, another 15 to 20 years time. It is possible. We wanted to prove it. It is going to happen in Andhra Pradesh in the near future. Ultimately, we are following a principle. It is a mantra, viaduct. You know, any quicker passage. It is a Latin word they are using in irrigation department also we are using. I created a concept. Viaduct means V stands for vision. We are having a clarity. With all the difficulties, by 2022, we will be one among 3 developed states in the country. By 2029, we will be number 1 in terms of not only development and also happiness as an indicator. And 2050, best destination in the world will be Andhra Pradesh. That is the standard of living we want to provide. V stands for vision, I stands for innovation. Our capital, Amaravati, 34,000 acres of land, around 40 to 50,000 crores worth of land, farmers has given under land pooling. Nowhere in any democratic country they are able to get this type of land. That is the biggest innovation in the world we are able to establish in the recent past. And also if you can go through further, LED bulbs is a big innovation. We have started that innovation. We have given that innovation to the nation. Nation is following now. Like that, if you can measure, we are doing so many innovations. A stands for VIA, A stands for accountability. We wanted to bring accountability from top to bottom in all walks of life. D stands for digitalization. Everywhere, total my government will be online. Even finance department, even all citizens, we are having Aadhaar, and also we are having People's Hub. I can have a planning
macro level, I can execute at micro level, that is family as a unit. And at the same time, we are having a land hub, just like Aadhaar is an authentication for individual. We are giving Budhar. Automatically geo-reference and Aadhaar will be synchronized. There won't be any land disputes. That also we are establishing. Ultimately, everything will be real-time online. We are having a real-time governance also. That is the digitalization we are going as on today. You name and technology in that. Either machine learning, either artificial intelligence, everything we are using there. Then U for VAA, DU, viaduct, Uberization. Everywhere people are talking Uberization. We are doing so many ways in our government how to use Uberization concept in all services. For an example, I will give you. All villages, we are able to collect garbage, door delivery. We will convert it to compost. With one app, I can deliver to their farm. You need not bother. And also, we are collecting all animal dung from home. We will convert into compost. Again, we will deliver to the field. So many people as on today are working, collecting, carrying headloads, and then taking to the field, everything. Without any effort, we are able to do, that is the Uberization we are bringing. Even all my agriculture equipment, either tractor, either harvester, either any equipment for that matter, it is an Uberization for the farmer. So we are going there. And convergence. Government is not a standalone department. It is a one government, one citizen. So many departments are working services. I am bringing one example, Narega. It is an employment generation scheme. 24 departments have brought convergence. Either laying cement roads, construction of community buildings, panchayat building, Anganwadi building, playgrounds, burial grounds, and you can say farm ponds, so many things we are able to do, even compound walls of schools, plantation, everything we have done. Ultimately, T stands for technology. We are bringing technology all over the world, and also we are using the technology with information technology integration, with consistently pursuing the matters, we are getting results. This is the new mantra I am giving to my departments. We are working in that. That is viaduct. I want to achieve 15% growth rate and also sustainable development goals. We have signed in the UNO. They have given time 2030. By 2022, we want to achieve these sustainable development goals. That is how this government is working to achieve this type of progress. Ultimately, by using all these things as on today, we are number one in ease of doing business. We wanted to give one smartphone to every family so that ease of living. You need not go to any office. All services will be provided online, either private, public, all services. And also corrupt-free society, we want to go. No corruption anywhere. Zero corruption, zero tolerance. Fourth one, most livable standards I wanted to go. Quality of air, quality of water, quality of food, quality of power, quality of communication, quality of roads, everywhere, and also dignity of work we want to go. Ultimately, happiness with quality of life is our objective. One example I am giving you, zero budget natural farming. Here, so many people are here. Zero budget natural farming, without any fertilizer, pesticides, we are going to have agriculture. Then you can imagine your health. You can imagine environment. That is where we are going to contribute. As on today, organic farming all over the world, 0.3%. In India, it is 0.6%. In Andhra Pradesh, it is 8%. I am confident by 2024, it will be 100%. 80 lakh hectares of land and also 6 million farmers. They are going to convert this natural farming that is happening. Recently in Paris, they have given awards. Top 10 innovative practices, they have given awards. Among top 10, one is natural farming. That award got to us. That is how internationally people are recognizing. All agencies all over the world are working with us. Either environment or certification, or you can name any other organizations, Green Fund, everybody is working with us. With this, what I wanted to specify here, all of you. One is agriculture we are going to change. We are going to add 50% green cover in the state, either forest areas. Recently, we are #1 in forest cover also, green cover. And also we are going 50% of our area convert into horticulture. If you see, 50% of agriculture will be in horticulture. And also all forest we are going to have big green coverage. And also all energy will be solar energy. That is what I am thinking. I am telling my people, go solar energy almost from now onwards. That also I will explain to you. All vehicles will be electrical vehicles. You can imagine there is no pollution. Automatically CO2 should be neutral. And also it is wonderful time. You will not go to hospitals. Good food, good water, good air quality. You can measure even your food. You can have a traceability. By sitting here, what type of food you are eating, you can have a traceability, which form, what are the components, everything you can measure. That day is not far away. Very soon, we are all going to witness. This is the meeting. I want to tell you the government plans. This is the innovative session. I'm very happy. Today, earlier we will talk about information technology. Today, all of us are talking about innovations. Innovation is order of the day. If you get a good idea, it is going to happen, and also you can have excellent advantages. So what we are doing in these hackathon sessions, we wanted to have continuously. This is one of the most advantage, if you see here, on subject innovation, on specific subject hackathon. This is the first of its kind. We are conducting for the last so many days this type of sessions. Recently, we have conducted, if you see here, Agri-Tech, November 2017, even Bill Gates Foundation, they are also participated. All technologies in agriculture, we worked together. Even Bill Gates attended that meeting in Visakhapatnam. In April 2018, Happy Cities Summit Hackathon we have conducted. And also second, in February, we are going to have this year. Energy innovation we had today. UNICEF and Government of India and Government of Andhra Pradesh, we are working. 2 summits we had. Innovation in education technologies. Because of all these things, we are establishing iHub jointly with UNICEF so that games in education, so many things we are going to start. This is the university we are starting now. Rural Technologies Innovation Meet in association with the University of California, Berkeley, that also we have done. What I wanted to impress upon all of you, today there are so many winners. One is 1366 technologies, solar, wafer, manufacturing without ignorance, is saying it can reduce the cost of solar power. I told him, how much time for you to start your industry? He said 12 months. I asked him, why can't to set up within 9 months' time? He agreed for that. I am very happy. Always, whenever I start, completion day I will ask, not inauguration day, so that everybody will have a time-bound program with time conscious. And Chakra Innovation, another. And also Skylancer solar cleaning. He also told me 10 to 12% efficiency of solar panels. We want to test all these things. Basal, energetics, small micro, nano grids with the DC appliances. I'm very happy. All 4 will initiate immediately. They will produce results. Next year we will report to you. Same conference I'm telling you. I asked my secretary today. Every year, same dates, we are going to have international hackathon on energy continuously, so that Andhra Pradesh will be a model for all of you. If you see here, CAI and also ICC as organizing partners, Dahlberg as a knowledge partner, TRI and ISI, International Solar Alliances, as anchor partners. They are all here. I'm thanking all of them. If you see power sector reforms, I started power sector reforms in 1997-98 onwards. Even CRISIL rated Andhra Pradesh in 2002-2003 one of the best state. In India, power sector reforms we initiated. And also, if you see, regulatory commission we have set up at the time. Then only Government of India has set up in 1999. Ours is the first regulatory commission set up in power sector. Then this concept has come, not only power sector, in so many, even road sector, even airports, everywhere the concept has come. That is how we work in a big way. As a matter of fact, this is where any reform has to be continued with consistency.